This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by Lincoln Savings Bank. At home in Iowa, at work for you.
Another season is upon us as we sit down with UNI Head Football Coach Mark Farley. The Panthers open their season Saturday night in Ames under the lights in Jack Trice Stadium. And Coach, game week is finally here. I know you and your coaching staff and team will kind of get into your weekly routine. The fall camp, though, leading up to this first game week. How did you like the extra week of practice time? You didn't have the two-a-days early on, but how did you like the development and how that went for the squad?
Well, we got an extra week this year. We came in 1 week earlier due to the new NCAA rules, and we were not allowed to practice twice in one day. So we had the same number of practices. It was just that we had singular practices, and then every Sunday was off. But I thought it was a good rule. Looking back on it now, it was much safer for the players. Recovery was so much better for the players, and really for our football team in this particular situation, it gave us another week to communicate with them, just to coordinate that communication as a staff and a team.
Now that you're through fall week, evaluating players continues obviously on a weekly basis, but how do you like where each individual put themselves into a spot to compete for playing time and be ready to go on Saturday?
Well, this football team I think it's got great leadership to it. I think within the internal part of not just the captains, but each individual seems to take an internal responsibility of accountability. And I see a little bit better unity going into the season. So it's always tested once you get into the season what that transpires to be, but right now it appears that we're on the right track.
All right, let's talk defense now for a little bit. We've got a story coming up on Jared Farley, preseason All-American. He's one of those leaders at linebacker. Him and Duncan Furch had some great experience that they gained a year ago that will help lead this year's linebacker corps.
You know, Jared is he's an intelligent football player. He's a good football player. But he can make plays. He has a savviness on the field. And yet he's the leader on the field as far as making the communication and being the leader in that, getting us into the defense that we need to be in.
Seems like a group, too, that's going to be good at both that run stopping and the pass defense.
Well, we're going to have to be. I mean, I think our front seven is good, but our secondary is untested. A lot of new guys. They're redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores, so they've been here, but yet they don't have any game experience. So got to take a little bit off their plate early. As they evolve, we can start to do more things with them, but right now we just have to be good at something, and we'll have to be careful what we do in the back end.
Before we get to that secondary, let's talk about the guys up front. Bryce Douglas, Preston Woods, a couple of big guys that really like to eat up some space inside.
Well, that's where the experience is, and you always want fourth-year seniors, and you have that in Reth, Douglas, and Preston Woods. I mean, you have guys that have been there, you have guys that are physically developed because they've been in a program for 4 and 5 years, and then yet you can throw in Hezekiah and Sept Thomas and some younger guys that have been here going on their 3rd year. So you need that physical development at that front to be good.
The last 4 or 5 years, that defensive line culture has really turned a really competitive group of, you've got 4, 5, 6 guys every year.
Well, when you have competition from within and when you play multiple players, you can develop that experience. And we've been playing multiple players to keep them fresh in that front.
The secondary, a few guys that got some experience last year. What will be some keys against a very tough Iowa State offense?
Well, we'll get tested because of size. We don't have the 6'4" corner, the 6'3" corner, but yet they have the 6'4" receivers. So we'll get tested in size. And there's also a physical dimension of that as well. So we'll get tested on the physical side in that battle at the line of scrimmage. So we will be tested, and we will find out together, you know, what we will become.
All right, more with UNI Head Football Coach Mark Farley right after this.